He's only given up the 1 run, and here he is in the 4th.
Yeah, pretty incredible when you think about it. First 4 hitters reach base. And he's been 3 scoreless since. I mean, virtually after the first run scored with no outs, he's been able to settle everybody down and give 3 scoreless innings, which you can't have a more nightmarish start. If you're really wanting to put on a show for the Team USA, like you know Adam Wainwright does, under the hood, the heart had to be like, what is going on? And certainly around the mound and fielding plays.
Martinez waits on it, bangs it to right, but Betts is there.
If they win this game, you know his teammates back in St. Louis are going to give him a hard time about when he returns back to spring training. Let's see you on the side field real quick, big fella.
Time for some fielding practice. I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, things aren't going your way, these first few hitters, but just take a deep breath and settle in and straighten it out. But it's another thing to be able to get on the mound and actually do that.
Yeah, he's super focused, and everything he does, structure, detail, he wants it, he gets it, and he's grinding like this is a World Series start.
Out here, Drake swings to the first pitch, ground ball to short. Trey Turner, 2 up and 2 down. And great for Adam Wainwright, huge for Team USA if they're able to move on in this game to preserve the rest of the staff.
Absolutely. You know, this is last year, and to play in this game means the world to him, and to do fairly well means even more because, like I said, I mean, you know, he represents the game on and off the field with such class. So it did not start that way, but if it was a younger player that had that happen, I don't think they survived that first inning. His experience survived the first inning, and his guts to say, that's okay, all right, because you know the wheels were spinning, especially on those 2 plays that he didn't make.
Uu Ski Bear. Wainwright looking for a 1-2-3 4th. No balls, 2 strikes.
When you think about his career, and most people forget because it's lasted so long, he broke in and had to be the emergency closer for the Cardinals in his first year. And the epic freezer of all freezes, curveball, Carlos Beltran moments. It's amazing he's been able to spin that and then become this dominant starter for a long time.
That was back in 2006. He's a closer on that World Series run. That's up the middle and through, and a base hit to keep this inning going for Uu Ski Bear. Adam Wainwright was top 3 in Cy Young voting 4 of his first 6 years.
And you know what? Those years he could have won it. They split votes with him and his teammate, Chris Carpenter, because they were both in the running. And so it cost him some votes and potentially a Cy Young.
You know a little bit about having some competition on your own staff.
Sure do. Those 2 hacks I played with.
Ah, they could throw
Ivan
a little
and
bit
Maddox.
too. Good problem to have.
Very good problem to have.
So you go on to the 4th, back to the top of the order. Roel Santos, 1 for 2, scored Cuba's lone run. You know what's been really cool for Wainwright is that he had that peak at the beginning of his career, and then he went through what a lot of guys go through, and that's dealing with injuries. But the cool thing is how he's been able to have a resurgence, and he's finished his career with 3 to this point, and there's another year coming, but excellent years.
Yeah, I don't think anybody anticipated he'd be playing again this year, including him, but he had such a fun and healthy year last year. It was almost like, why not? You know, Molina was retiring. Nobody's thrown to each other. Battery mate, right? They're number 1, right?
Yep.
And they broke that last year, so he decided to go 1 more year.
Got the call there, 1-2. They said that he went around. Wainwright deals. Fly ball right center. Nope.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis keeps flaring, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq and left bathroom urgency behind. Check. When UC got in my way, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when my gastro saw damage,
Remission and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor. Ask your gastro about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Let's be honest. The Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich should have been named the Spicy McCrispy all along. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, I'll have another. Make it a double.
Dad, Mom thinks she's at a resort again.
You stay.
Looking good, babe.
Hilton for the stay.
It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost. Rate drop advantage. Don't miss these big savings. Visit inflationbuster.com.
Sorry, I just locked in a great refinancing rate for my student loans with credible.
Two in the first, one in the second, two in the third in support of Adam Wainwright, who had given up a run before he'd recorded an out. You consider that 4 innings, 1 run. Pretty awesome stat line.
Really awesome. Again, you know, many pitchers who are maybe watching this game know what that's like. To have bases loaded, 1 run in, and you haven't recorded an out. The numerical value of getting out of that inning with just that 1 run is really.
As Mookie Betts leads off this 4th inning for Team USA, already a double and a single today. Swings and misses, 1 and 2. And if you had told Mark DeRosa 4 innings from Wainwright, he would have said that sets us up exactly for how we want this script to play out.
Yeah, there's been some tight moments in this World Baseball Classic based on what people didn't know, that would not have been able to finish the game based on the rules and restrictions. They didn't have enough pitching.
And so that's a forfeit.
Yeah, well, Lance Lynn pitched 65 pitches in 5 innings. You only get 65 pitches. And then the game was shortened because of the run rule after 7. And so what became an issue going into the game and the unknown. I mean, you're talking line drive off the leg or just not a good performance. Those kind of things exist. And so when you're managing a game with restrictions and not to mention pitch limits, it's not that fun. Because if you're playing a tournament, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. And he's just that's not the case here with all the property being spread out to Major League Baseball and their teams.
Well, you heard him. He was asked today, hey, are you having fun? Are you enjoying this? And he thought deeply about it, because you know that he is. He's enjoying the experience of wearing that uniform and being around these guys. But, boy, the stress that comes with it.
There's no doubt, and no country's removed from it. The pressure on the manager.
Smoking short. Aruba-Reina's up with it.
They get crushed. I mean, there's a reason why no active managers are doing this besides their job of getting their team ready. It is an awesome opportunity, but it is. I'm not kidding you. I told him 5 months ago. And I've said had a hair.
Say, surprised he still took the job. He told him that. That'd be enough for me. I'm out. Went in for a couple interviews. GM at Team USA, Tony Reagans, threw a Team USA jersey at him and said, "You want to do this?" He said,
At Dodge. Let's take a look back at night number 1.
tomorrow night on FS1. A strike on Goldschmidt. What a tournament this has been. The games have been fantastic. A lot of people at Team USA saying last night's the best game they've ever been a part of. And the environments, the backdrops, the way that this whole tournament is colored with the environments we've had. It's been spectacular. Mike Trout, one of those guys that said, you know, I knew it was going to be fun, but it's exceeded my wildest expectations. These are a bunch of guys who played in big games. I mean, Trout's somebody who hasn't played in the postseason since 2014, but had those 3 games of postseason experience. And he said last night's environment and this whole experience has blown that out of the water. On a 2-1 pitch, Goldschmidt's way out in front. It's 2-2. Carlos Vieira looking for a 1-2-3 against the top of the lineup. Count goes full. And the other thing Mike Trout was talking about, he said, the fans last night, I'm not sure if the fans can really appreciate how much they mean to him, how much they could do to boost a player.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's hard to play 162 games like that, right? And it's hard for the crowd to have 162 games of that kind of emotion and energy. But this is a, I mean, you feel like you pole vault, like you just are thrust into an incredible environment.
Goldschmidt aboard with a 2-out walk, and we go down to Kenny.
Joe, it's not just Trout speaking so highly of participating in this tournament. The players are becoming increasingly vocal about how everybody should want to be in this kind of thing. Talking to JT Realmuto after last night's game, he said, I can't believe anybody would rather stay in spring training than play in a game like that. And then Nolan Arenado in his news conference today said, there's no reason why the stars of our game shouldn't be playing in this.
That is Arenado there taking a ball.
Well, and Kenny, you're right, and that report is just so complex on so many levels. And I would say this, it's definitely something that hopefully as they continue to evolve and this continues to play, you've got to be committed early on. And you got to make the necessary changes, which means get ready a little earlier, block out the noise, and hopefully have the blessing of your teams, because that's the other component nobody knows about, is how many blessings is not given for that player to play in this event for one reason or another. I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well, one of the, I think the primary reason that this WBC has been as great as it has is the stars are playing from a position player side. Much has been made out of the lack of star power when it comes to pitching, especially for Team USA. A lot of the country's best pitchers are involved in this WBC, not as much on Team USA. On a 2-1, Arenado chops it foul, 2-2.
But you can't play this game with the what ifs. You can't go to spring training. What if I get hurt? What if I do this? What you can't. No one, whoever plays this game long enough, ever thinks about getting hurt. But how many guys in spring training get hurt every year? A lot. And so the news becomes, out of a tournament like this, it becomes tenfold when somebody gets hurt. See, I told you, this is what happens, and it's unfair.
Down the right field line, if it's fair, Goldschmidt could have a shot. Into the corner it goes. Gaber picks it up. Goldschmidt heads for the plate. He'll score standing on a triple from Arenado.
Just some really good hitting on a changeup that just drops out. Look how he just half swings it, kind of like 3/4 in a golf swing. After he swung and missed at that pitch, he was able to make the adjustment and hit a ball down the line. And if you don't think Paul Goldschmidt can pick him up and put him down for a big man, you're mistaken.
Goldschmidt's been one of the best base stealers among first basemen in the last few decades. Really moves still at 35 years old. Scored all the way from first. Made it 6-1 USA. I think it's Kyle Schwarber to the plate. Already reached twice, and he takes a strike here.
Not that this will come into play, but just in the early rounds, the run rule comes into play in tournament style, not when you get to this point. There is no run rule. The game will have to be played 9 innings in its entirety. There's that half swing. Beautiful thing. And he knows it. This is a little slice down the right field line. And
look out. 2-1.
Schwarber's like, all right, uncle. I already got hit once.
Walked on 4 pitches. Then he got hit on the 4th pitch. And now he's ahead 2-1. So we've seen 11 pitches tonight, only 1 strike. They give me something to hit. Armando Johnson, manager of Team Cuba. It's got to be so tough. You haven't seen anything to hit all night, and then a really pretty good change up there. You lay off.
Great change up, actually. The amount of movement that has downward.
Schwarber, great combination, power and on base. Fouls this one off. 3-2. Finally had one to hit.
I mean, how about the lineup the Phillies are going to have when their star player gets healthy? That's going to be a formidable, one of the best lineups, you know, potentially in the East and potentially in baseball, with the addition of Turner.
And the addition of Bryce Harper midseason when he comes back from Tommy John. That is in the dirt. And in comes Arenado. Schwarber will go to first. 3rd time he's been on tonight. It's 7-1. Javier retired the first 2 hitters in this inning. Walk, triple, walk.
Ball just gets away, and there's really nothing the catcher can do on that. It spikes early, and Arenado walks home. Right about now, it's the psychology of this game is where Cuba starts thinking about their travels coming here. The adrenaline rush of playing the game and winning, you don't think about that stuff. And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, this game's getting long. It took us a long time to get here.
Familiar walk for Pedro Luis Lazo tonight. He calls down to the bullpen. Another change for Team Cuba. USA's opened it up 7-1.
Saturdays, baseball's best are showing out on Fox. This is where MVPs are VIPs and where aces always come in pairs. Saturday means it's showtime for Shohei and mealtime for Manny. All the swag, all the salt, and all the slams. The biggest games on the best day of the week. Fox Saturday Baseball returns April 1st.
Thursday on FS1, qualifying for the 2024 Euros kicks off. The world's greatest superstars look to shine in Europe's finest tournament.
Mbappe, go!
Italy, England, Thursday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
Next Sunday on Fox.
Start your engine! I'm gonna light it!
The NASCAR Cup Series takes on the Circuit of the Americas. On this road course, every turn is a battle, and every lap a beast. Whoa. All tracks are built to go fast, but this one was born to thrill.
Yeah, we did it!
The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, next Sunday at 3 Eastern on Fox.
7-1 Team USA. They've scored in all 4 innings in this game. A win away from the championship game. Active bullpen for Cuba. Ronald Bolaños, the latest to come in. He's spent some time in the major leagues. He's pitched 1 game in this WBC. Arenado with the triple to drive in Goldschmidt. Arenado then scores on the wild pitch. And Will Smith, the first to face Bolaños, who spent the last 3 seasons with the Kansas City Royals. And he takes a strike. Ground out and a walk for the Team USA catcher. If they advance, it'll be JT Realmuto in the championship game on Tuesday, just continuing to go back and forth between the two. 0-2.
And that's pretty good, too, to flip-flop.
Yeah. Realmuto 5 for 8 in the WBC. Fly the other way. The Bear ends the 4th, but a 2-out rally and 2 more runs. 7-1 United States.
Saturdays, baseball's best are showing out on Fox. This is where MVPs are VIPs, and where aces always come in pairs. Saturday means it's showtime for Shohei and mealtime for Manny. All the swag, all the salt, and all the slams. The biggest games on the best day of the week. Fox Saturday Baseball returns April 1st.
I have moderate to severe ulcerative colitis, so I'm taking Zeposia, a once-daily pill, because I won't let UC stop me from being me.
Zeposia can help people with UC achieve and maintain remission and has been shown to reduce symptoms in as early as 2 weeks. Zeposia is the first and only S1P receptor modulator approved for UC. Don't take Zeposia if you had a heart attack, chest pain, stroke, or mini-stroke, heart failure in the last 6 months, irregular or abnormal heartbeat, if you have untreated sleep apnea, or take MAOIs. Zeposia may cause serious side effects, including infections that can be life-threatening and cause death, slow heart rate, liver or breathing problems, increased blood pressure, macular edema, swelling and narrowing of the brain's blood vessels, and increased risk of PML, a rare brain infection that usually leads to death or severe disability. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant or plan to be. Don't let UC stop you from doing you. If you're living with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis, ask your doctor about once-daily Zeposia.
I can't believe this is how you kids talk to your friends. This is talking. Did you have a nice day? Look at the size of these butterfly shrimp. Ginormous. Butterfly shrimp? What? Now she's talking.
Jameson, the smooth triple distilled whiskey, knows when people...
I guess you really had to be there.
Just get you. That's when this spark just happens. So pull up a chair. There's always a seat for you at the table. Jameson, widen the circle.
It's Country Night! The Masked Singer's going buck wild for 2 colorful new characters. And an unmasking hits down home.
This is family. You had me.
It's Country Night on an all-new Masked Singer. Wednesday on Fox.
Well, Team Cuba struck first in this game before Adam Wainwright had recorded an out. 3 infield singles and then a bases-loaded walk, and it was 1-0 Cuba. Talked about it then. You figured Team USA's offense would have something to say about it, and they've scored in all 4 innings. Home runs from Goldschmidt and Turner, and a 7-1 lead as the baton is passed to another St. Louis Cardinal, and Miles Michaelis.
How about the Cardinals letting 17 players play in this WBC? 17 the roster. So this 2 pitchers back-to-back getting their work in. Michaelis will throw any pitch at any time. A little firmer on his fastball.
Moncada yanks a line drive to right. That'll get into the corner against the wall. And Yohan Moncada has a leadoff double in the 5th. First extra base hit of the game for Cuba.
Moncada under 6 feet, but he's strong. And if you leave one up here in this zone, you're lucky if you don't get to see that ball stay in the ballpark, and it did with a double.
So from one Cuban big leaguer to another, Moncada to Luis Robert, from one White Sox to another. Luis Robert has been a monster when he's been healthy.
Oh, man.
The Rookie of the Year runner-up in 2020, and then in 2021 he hit .338, but he missed most of the season with a torn hip flexor. Missed another 60 games last year. Eye-popping talent, though.
Yeah, if he could just stay healthy.
Yes.
You know, that's the one thing you never want to hear people say. If he could just stay healthy, what you're capable of putting together. Some flukish injuries, and just like you said, just hadn't really had that fortune.
He's still just 25 years old. A lot of career ahead of him. For a guy who can remember seeing the Team Cuba team plane when he was a kid and thinking, how cool would it be to fly on that plane, to wear that uniform. And he got to represent Team Cuba in the 15 and under and 18 and under series before he defected. But once he defected, he said he never thought that there was going to be another chance to do this. Not taking any of it for granted.
What a job by Bill Smith blocking that ball right there. That was a spiked curveball.
Moncada put at second. 1-2 on Robert. Two and two. Foul. Team Cuba in the semifinals for the first time since the first World Baseball Classic in 2006. Went to the championship game that year, lost to Team Japan. Looked like an early exit this time around. Found their way out of the group stage in a 5-way tiebreaker. Robert couldn't lay off. He's down on strikes. Up comes Despaigne. But Espana had the bases loaded walk to bring in Cuba's run in the first inning, then reached on an error his second time up. Facing Miles Michaelis, two-time All-Star. Now Michaelis made it to the major leagues a long time ago, more than a decade ago with the San Diego Padres. He pitched out of their bullpen, and then he goes to the Texas Rangers and struggles. So he's got to go to Japan. And he pitches 3 seasons in Japan, just, he says, wanting a little bit longer leash to work on some things, to figure some things out. Comes back to the majors with the Cardinals, and that's when he's turned himself into an all-star pitcher.
Yeah, he figured it out all right. He's definitely, he had a little bit of the injury bug, like a lot of pitchers. But his ability to spin the baseball, he's a firmer version of Adam Wainwright, where he can throw that slider, throw the curveball, and the fastball is going to have a little bit more life on it. But he's in command of all those pitches. That's what makes him special.
Mark DeRosa would love to use as few pitchers as he could tonight. All hands on deck for a championship game if they can hang on to this. An 0-2 from Michaelis and a swing and a miss from Despaigne. Back-to-back Ks, 2 out. Seven-1 United States. Runner at second, 2 gone for Rubarena. Oh for 2 tonight. And a bullpen that was used heavily last night. They used 6 relievers. The championship game coming in 2 days if they can win here. Trying to get things lined up as best they can. 4 innings from Adam Wainwright. Miles Michaelis strike away from finishing off a scoreless 5th. Got a couple other starters available as well.
Well, ideally, 4 innings would be huge out of Michaelis.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? You go 4 innings, and just 1 more. Only use 3 guys. You've got Freeland and Singer and Merrill Kelly as far as starters that would be available. Kendall Graveman and Aaron Loop available out of the bullpen for an inning. They didn't pitch last night, but the big 3 would have become the big 3 in this tournament for Team USA. And Jason Adam, Devin Williams, and Ryan Presley. They all pitched last night. They've all pitched 3 games and not given up a run. You'd love to have them stacked up and ready to go Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday all hands literally will be on deck if they can get there.
And 2-2. Still a long way to go in this one, though. This is a Team Cuba offense that scored 24 runs over their 3-game winning streak to get to this semifinal. On a 2-2, Rubarena pulls one left side and through. They're going to stop Moncada as Schwarber comes up firing. And they're at the corners with 2 gone. Boy, rarely are you not going to see the guy coming home.
Right.
2 gone.
Now this ball was hit pretty firm, and he did get a decent break, but little hesitation cost him.
Schwarber was deep, too. So it stays 7-1, and it'll be up to Andy Ibanez with 2 away. Ball 1. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ibanez, last 2 seasons with the Texas Rangers, hit .258, going back and forth between the majors and AAA. They let him go. Tigers picked him up. He's in camp with the Tigers. Getting these high-intensity at-bats in the WBC. On a 1-1 from Michaelis. Ibanez grounds one up the middle. That one gets through, and they do get that second run home. Andy Ibanez drives home Yoan Moncada. And it's a 7-2 game.
Hit right up the middle and split the defenders. Wouldn't have had a play if either one of them got to it.
Third hit of the inning for Cuba.
Well, you know what? What's going to come into play this year? Pitchers who can field their position. With no shift, take away the middle. I mean, the shift took away the middle, but pitchers in their max effort delivery fall off the mound one way or another, so they don't really field. They're not a fielder as much. So the pitchers that field their position are going to have a decided advantage in stopping some of those hits that we all get used to knowing they were hits, and the shift took them away.
Ariel Martinez takes a strike. Now you're taught as a pitcher on a ball smoked back at you to not reach out for it.
No. And the thing about the mound and pitching is all about the delivery and how you end up. If you end up in
a fielding position,
absolutely, and you get whatever you can, because there typically was never anybody behind the second base bag defender. That was yours.
And it became the opposite of that in recent years.
Absolutely.
Where it was guaranteed there's somebody back there.
Yeah, because, you know, well, pitchers in the last 3 to 4 years, if they did their job and checked where the defenders were, you would remember to let it go. But if you forgot and you reached out just out of habit, then you deflected it away from a guy standing right there to make an out.
Two on, 2 out. Cuba's gotten a run here in the 5th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Michaelis comes home and gets a swing and a miss. So that ends the inning, but Team Cuba gets its first run since the 1st and halfway home in Miami. It's 7-2.
Define your glory. Don your nation's colors from the World Baseball Classic for use in Diamond Dynasty and MLB The Show 23. World Baseball Classic uniforms and players are coming to Diamond Dynasty.
Rated E for everyone.
Show me what you got, show me what you got, show me what you got. Yeah, hardcore girls blowing up, we never stop. Tell me what you want, tell me what you want, tell me what you want.
A feeling this powerful is invite only.
Change the world, get on top.
Fortunately, you're invited. Experience the capability of the complete line of SUVs at the Invitation to Lexus sales event.
When you prefer dream vacation over a rental nightmare, it matters where you stay. Hilton for the stay.
I'm gonna give you his resume.
Your mom has made it her job to find you any job.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
When your resume is on Indeed, you get matched with jobs that fit your requirements.
Where do you get your persistence from?
Let's be honest. The Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich should have been named the Spicy McCrispy all along. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When you have auto glass damage, trust Safelite. We'll replace your windshield and recalibrate your advanced safety system so automatic emergency braking and lane departure warning work properly.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Next Sunday on Fox.
I'm gonna light it up.
The NASCAR Cup Series takes on the Circuit of the Americas road course.
Oh, we did it!
The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, next Sunday on Fox.
Team USA with a 7-2 lead. They've scored in all 4 innings in the semifinal. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, and it's Pete Alonso to lead this inning off. Look out. In fact, he got hit with the first pitch of the inning. So Bolaños hits Alonso. And instant action on the bases for USA. A change coming here. Instead of Tim Anderson, it's going to be Jeff McNeil to pinch hit. And for more on him, we go down to Kenny.
Joe, this is Jeff McNeil's first at-bat in a week. Keep in mind, he's the National League batting champion. But Team USA has faced 5 straight left-handers. Tim Anderson got hot for a little while there. He's cooled off a bit. So here's McNeil finally getting back in the mix. I asked him today if it's been difficult for him to maintain his swing while not playing. He said, not really. I've been doing my work in the cage. Things should be okay. But this is important for Team USA to get him back in the mix.
Batting champ in the National League. You mentioned it, Kenny. .326 average last year. One of the top averages in baseball since he debuted 5 years ago. Signed an extension this offseason with the Mets. Keeping him around until 2027. Ahead here 2-0. This is a guy who 2 years ago hit only .251, and it was jarring because he'd always been well above 300, but he went back and watched some video from his first couple of seasons, got back to doing some things that he had always done and just gotten away from in 2021, and he looked like the old Jeff McNeil again. Starting second baseman in the All-Star game for the National League. And the Mets hadn't had a starter in the All-Star game in 9 years. He had to go back to when Matt Harvey started the game on the mound, and David Wright was at third in 2013. One of the last Mets starters. Pinch hitting for Tim Anderson. And he's got a 4-pitch walk. Ugly start to this inning for Bolaños. So double-barreled action down in the Cuba bullpen. And here's Turner. The last time Team USA played in the World Baseball Classic, Trey wasn't on the team. He was still at that point trying to make his first opening day roster with Washington. Made it a few weeks later, 2017, won a World Series in 2019. For the Dodgers and now the Phillies for Trey Turner. The 2019 World Series season, 4 days into the season, Trey broke his finger, and he said it looked like a fish hook. Doctor said, you're going to be out for a few months, and he said, okay, we'll see about that. I'm going to show you. And he came back in about a month with a finger still broken and spent that whole year swinging through pain with 9 fingers on the bat. That broken finger, that fish hook sticking up from the bat. He helped him win a World Series like that.
Yeah, he's a special player that is going to really benefit. And we talked about this, that the new rules, the enticing of stolen bases, no shift. I think his speed and his combination of power is going to make him. I've always said when he broke in the league, he's going to win an MVP. I don't know if that'll happen, but he's come close to putting it all together. And of course, hitting over 300 with power and stolen bases. I think that package will eventually get him an MVP if he stays healthy. I really do.
2-1 from Bolaños is a little bit inside, ball 3.
And the other part of it is if he can cut down on the swing and miss and strikeouts in his game, because think about it. with the kind of speed that he has, and he cuts down 10% on his strikeouts. That's an average per month of a few more hits by contact alone. So that would go a long way as well.
Fouls it off.
And it's in these counts. I'm not talking 0-2, 1-2. I'm talking 3-1, 3-2. It's in these counts that if he cuts down that swing and miss, or that ability to want to swing,
on a payoff pitch, he muscles one into short right field. That's down for a hit. Alonso stopped at third. Bases loaded for Team USA. Trey Turner's got another knock. What a weekend this is turning into for him.
Well, he stays inside. See how he tried to get his hands in there quickly, but with one hand was able to fight it off and get rewarded. Contact will be king again in baseball.
More action, more base running. Put in play, good things happen. Fun things happen.
Might need some new turf with the amount of trips that
Luis Lazo making. And he is not cared about hiding his emotions. The bedside manner, Lazo's best quality as he heads out there. That's it for Bolaños.
I'm at this wing joint telling people that Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
Dozen wings.
And did you know that Geico offers motorcycle insurance? Oh, my lips are burning. No, my lips are actually burning.
Geico. Over 85 years of savings and service. See how much you could save at geico.com.
It's too hot. This is too hot, mate.
You ready for it?
Here we go.
Morning's OG, spitting mad truth and sick kicks. It's Skip Drip Bayless.
I am a living legend.
He came to play Mr. Game Day, Shannon Shay Show.
Get off my property.
Toe-to-toe in a sports debate game. In a showdown for the GOATKO.
It's legal on this show.
To see who's the greatest debater of all time.
Judgment Day is coming.
Always right, never wrong, undisputed.
Brace for impact. It's Friday Night SmackDown on Fox.
Listen to this place. Crowd is witnessing history tonight.
Tap into network television's greatest spectacle.
Check this out.
As the baddest superstars on the planet are unleashed in prime time. All new Friday Night SmackDown, sponsored by Progressive at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Vad Lee, pressure up the middle, dumps it short. Catch by Henny, who's able to turn the corner before he is planted on the sideline. Boom! Hello!
7-2, Team USA. They've got the bases loaded, nobody out here in the fifth inning with a chance to add on, and they didn't wait around, as was the case yesterday when they scored 3 runs in the first inning. It was Paul Goldschmidt that got him off to a 2-1 lead with that home run, and then another home run in the second.
Yeah, just a good feeling from last night. That home run and that swing almost similar. And again, just echoing what this offense can do and what it's capable of doing. They are taking advantage of the pitches that are thrown to them, and they are making the best of these situations. That's not you're not going to look at that exit velocity and go, wow, but they're putting them where the defense is.
They've had 15 base runners in 4+ innings. Scored in every inning to this point. Trying to keep that going here in the fifth with Mookie Betts, who's 2 for 3. And that is ball 1 from Elian Leyva, who is the 5th pitcher already for Colombia. Leyva's pitched in 1 game in this World Baseball Classic. Started against Chinese Taipei and Went 2 1/3, didn't give up a run, got the win in that game. Just trying to keep it close here. His 1-0 pitch is pulled sharply to short, caught on the fly by Arubarena. Betts is out, number 1.
Well, I feel sorry for this pitcher with the next guy coming up. He's due.
That would be Mike Trout, who's 0 for 3 today after striking out 3 times yesterday. Rarely do you see him go even this long without doing something loud.
Yeah, he's going to hit a ball hard, whether or not he gets rewarded or not. He's going to hit a ball hard right here. You just get the sense that he has the ability to forget about the past, but he doesn't have many past experiences
to forget. Yeah. Got Alonso at third, McNeil at second, Turner at first, and he takes a strike. Talking to him before the game today around the cage, he kept bringing up the environment from last night, and the conversation would finish, he'd go in and have another round, and then he'd come out, he'd shake his head, and he'd just start talking about the environment again. Fouls this one back quickly behind 0-2. He has not had enough of those opportunities to do his thing. Desperate to get back to the postseason. Baseball desperate for him to get back to the postseason. How fun would it be to have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani playing in October? Oh, 2 pitch. Strike 3 call.
That young man will remember that for a while.
That's the 5th K for Trout the last 2 games.
You know, I know the statistics no longer, but I think not too long ago, there's only 3 games in his career, 3 games in a row that he hadn't reached base. Like, that's how much Mike Trout in his limited struggles. Now, last year that he had a stretch where it was like way unlike Mike
Late
Trout.
May, early June, I think we saw him in Philadelphia going through that. That was crazy. Goldschmidt looks at strike 1. Wainwright was able to wiggle off of the hook in the first inning, give up just 1 run in a bases loaded situation. Team Cuba trying to keep within relative striking distance. Goldschmidt shoots it the other way, and they break through in this inning as well. 1 run is in. Here comes McNeil. Throw to the plate is laid, and a 2-run single for Paul Goldschmidt. It's 9-2. They've scored in all 5 innings.
That's just great hitting. I mean, taken again, wide open right side. Pitcher was 1 out away from wiggling out of an incredible situation. Inside out. That's a planned attack.
Goldschmidt's knocked in 4 of the 9 runs. On base percentage around .600 in the World Baseball Classic for Paul Goldschmidt. At the corners, 2 gone still. And he gets Arenado a chance here. He's had 2 hits today, scored a couple runs of his own, fouls this one off.
A little bit surprised. I mean, Goldschmidt could walk to second base. I mean, they're not even holding him on. First baseman's playing way behind. I think he's asking, should I go? Looked over to the bench like, you want me to go? It's 9-2.
Oh, 2. Back-to-back 9-run games since Team USA's moved into the knockout stage. Flexing that right hand. And The umpires getting together here to see if there was a swing.
He's trying to get that feeling back right now. That is.
Oh.
Not enough padding in those gloves to do much, but take a little sting off of it. I don't think they're going to take any chances.
Nolan Arenado, who Mark DeRosa says treats every swing, every ground ball like it's Game 7 of the World Series. We're going to hate to have to come out here, even with a comfortable lead. Let's hope that he's okay. Bobby Witt Jr. replaces him as the runner at first. Does he need his sliding glove? He's pointing at his hand. It looks like this is under review. Arenado going to head back into the clubhouse, get some testing. We hope that it's not just him being super tough, that the body language is a good sign. The look on his face is a good sign that it's not a big deal. Because anytime you get hit up around that area, there's just so many small bones in there.
Yeah.
You always fear the worst. Of course, last night, Jose Altuve with a broken thumb, undergoing surgery. And Astros will be without him for a couple months. Got away from Daniel Bard.
And you know, you hate to see it, but those kind of injuries can happen in spring training just as well. It's not like guys don't get hit. It's just so unfortunate.
So the call does stand that he does get first base. And as we showed, it'll be Bobby Witt Jr. running for Arenado. Boy, it was quickly a couple outs after the U.S. had loaded the bases, and it looked like Leyva was maybe going to get out of this, but Goldschmidt the 2-run single. He then hits Arenado and now has to face Kyle Schwarber. Bases loaded again for the U.S. Well, the offense in the group stage was hit or miss. Just didn't look great. They had the breakout against Canada. But since they've moved here to Miami, they've done in the 2 games what you envisioned them doing when you saw the names on the roster.
Especially in situations where you put pressure on the opposing pitchers, right? When you have bases loaded, they're not letting them squirm out without giving up a run or 2, or even in the case of a grand slam. So that's a good sign for the offense.
Comes the 1-1 pitch. Schwarber's out in front of it, 1-2. It seemed like they really did come out to set a tone in that first inning last night. Not just the base hits, but the base running after the hits, after the discussions in the clubhouse before the game about trying to match Venezuela's intensity, trying to match the intensity that the crowd was going to bring. And that's carried over to tonight. Bounce back to Leyva. Rainbow to first, and that'll finish off the inning. But 2 more come across, and it's 9-2 after 5.
And we're done.
What about these?
Looks right.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. When you gotta get it done, one sheet is all you need. And Bounty is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less and get the job done with one. This works.
Kinda.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Subway keeps upping their game with the Subway series, an all-star menu of delicious subs. Like number 8, the Great Garlic rotisserie-style chicken, bacon, and garlic aioli.
I've tasted greatness. Great garlic, though, tastes way better.
Can't argue with that analysis. Try Subway's tastiest menu upgrade yet.
Men's Wearhouse believes you should love the way you look on your big day. With countless styles fit to you and fit to your wedding, you will love the way you look. Because for all that makes us unique, one thing we have in common is love. Men's Wearhouse. Love the way you look.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business in 1929, he relied on 4 important values: freshness, quality, variety, and service. I'm proud to carry on his legacy, but from a bigger space. We still freshly roast, season, and dip delicious nuts here in New Jersey and deliver them with the freshest dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families that love our products all around the country, including mine. We think you'll love Nuts.com too, so check us out and enjoy free shipping on your first order.
Outback's going full-on Aussie, starting at a down-under price of just $16.99. Enjoy our sirloin with new Aussie chook ribs, or paired with a lobster tail, whatever you like. Top things off with some Bonza Tim Tam brownie cake. It's full-on Aussie time for a limited time, only at Outback Steakhouse.
Jeff McNeil, after pinch hitting, stays in the game and plays second base. And Bobby Witt, after pinch running for Nolan Arenado, remains in the game at third. 9-2, USA ahead of Cuba here in the semifinal. Michaelis with strike one delivered to Yadier Drake. Drake, the 8-hitter, is 1 for 2.
You know, talking to Mark DeRosa, you know, it was killing him to not get some of the guys in there like a Bobby Witt Jr. But when you have a Nolan Arenado, there's not going to be any place for that. And now he gets to play in unfortunate circumstances.
Worm burner to short. Trey Turner's up with it to get Drake.
But a superstar in the making, and the experience that he's gained here will go a long way. That's why I'm sure Kansas City was happy for him to be there along with Brady Singer.
Yeah, Witt's just 22 years old. Last year at 20 home runs, had 30 stolen bases as a rookie. The last time the Team USA was in the WBC, Bobby Witt was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And so just his inclusion on this roster, Team USA kind of looks at it as with an eye for the next WBC when they think he could be central to what they're doing in 2026. To strike on Yoelkis Guibert. Michaelis working quickly. 0-2.
Well, what he lacks in playing time, he gains in wisdom, being around some of these players, taking the batting practice, learning, and now getting a chance to finish the rest of this game out.
Building on a lifetime of learning about the game, being around the game. Son of a longtime big league pitcher, Bobby Witt. 16 seasons in the majors. A 1-2 pitch to Guibert. Wrapped around the plate, ball 2.
I know I'm getting old. You're not there yet, but it just seems like more and more father-son combinations are popping up in baseball than ever before. It's just the
bouncer to Witt, charges and throws, not quite in time. Let's see a little glimpse of the speed and athleticism though of Bobby Witt. He bears on with an infield hit, his second hit of the night. Yeah, and superstars.
Yeah, that's the part that just kind of blows your mind.
Witt joining Vlad Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr. Hey, there's a son. And Griffey Jr., the hitting coach for Team USA, actually called Tony Regan's the GM and asked if he could be part of the staff. He thought they were building something that special. And he said, I think we can probably find you a spot, kid.
I played with his dad, against his dad, and against his son. Neither of which was a lot of fun. Playing with his dad was fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying facing both of them.
I know what you meant. Top of the order for Cuba, Roel Santos, who's 1 for 3. Takes outside, 1-1. Hey, it was mentioned how the pace that Michaelis is working with. When you get into a game like this and you're pitching and you realize the team has this 9-2 lead, you're conscious of the importance of attacking and keeping the game moving.
You are, and you learn it. Like we talked about it before, and people will always tell you when you get in the game, your first couple of years, and you're playing in a game where you got like a 10-0 lead, someone will inevitably say, "Hey, pretend it's 0-0." I'm like, really? Pretend it's 0-0. I can see it's 10-0. But what you learn to do is pitch like it's 0-0.
Fly ball center field, Mike Trout.
Because as soon as you let up at all, or as soon as you just start pumping strikes down the middle, next thing you know, it's 10-2, 10-4, 10-5. So it is a learned trait that's not that easy by just somebody telling you. You have to go through it, and you have to learn how to pitch with a lead. That seems crazy, but some pitchers will think, "Oh, I got 5 runs to play with, so I got mistakes that I can make." Well, if you think like that, you're going to make the mistakes. You have to learn how not to do that.
Seems like there's so many things like that where the only way to learn it is to experience it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I liken it to, maybe not in the same vein, but you see people try to win their first golf tournament, and they've never been there before, and they come down the stretch, and it's a total different feeling, and they hit shots they may never hit. Once you learn how to navigate that, then you learn how to win. And it's the same thing in pitching or in hitting. When you learn how to navigate whatever that moment is that makes you uncomfortable, you become better for it.
Strike on Yoan Moncada, who has continued his hot stretch with a 2 for 3 game tonight. Now 10 of his last 14. But behind 0-2. I tell you what, it's 9-2. The game is in hand, and in a sellout crowd, it's going crazy. And now they have reason for it that we're not going to show you. And security doing a prompt job of getting the fan off of the field. Not as prompt as security getting off of the field.
Yeah.
Long run to the other end of the stadium.
Taking a while. He's giving Mookie Betts a little high five.
Tell you what, they were fast when they needed to be, though. Gamers.
He does need to. There you
go. All right. All the doors shut and latched. And back to business. No balls, 2 strikes on Yoan Moncada. And a 9-2 game here in the 6th and the first semifinal. Japan and Mexico tomorrow night. The winners face off in the championship game on Tuesday. Michaelis throws, and Moncada takes outside. For Moncada, living a dream of his own wearing the Team Cuba uniform, but he said not just for him, but for his dad, for his family. Everybody back in Cuba who didn't think that this would happen again after he played when he was a teenager representing Cuba. Floats this one into left field. Schwarber's there to make the catch and end the inning. To the bottom of the 6th, we go in Miami. All United States in semifinal number 1.
What's the last thing you want at a birth?
Sandwiches. I brought sandwiches.
Spectacular. All new Animal Control, Thursday on Fox.
Invention is an act of determination to go where you couldn't before. Achieve goals that once felt out of reach. That's why Honda engineers didn't just redesign the Pilot Trail Sport. They built the most off-road capable Honda SUV ever. The all-new Pilot Trail Sport, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
I found it! I found it! Is it gold? Even better. There's new Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
hits. They've given up 9 earned runs.
You're going to want to tune in tomorrow night, though.
Turner drives it to left center field. Back it goes. It's gone again. On a team full of stars, none shining brighter than Trey Turner.